Hi guys, so welcome to the beginning of our assembly processes, and since we're already done with the 57 custom parts and we cannot wait to go through this, so what we do now is to open our assembly workspace by clicking on the rotary engine project and selecting on new assembly. Then we wait. Alright, so we are in the assembly workspace and we begin to insert our parts. So for this first demonstration, I would be inserting the parts one by one so that we get used to the process. I select on place and I scroll to search for the first part. So we are beginning with the exhaust pipe. Okay, this is it, and click on open. Alright, you notice here that the part is with my mouse, so I just click to drop, and then you notice that the part is still with my mouse, so if I click again, it's going to create a duplicate of this part, which I do not want. So I right click and I click on cancel. Exactly. Alright, so now that we have this, we can move it around by clicking, but we don't want to do that, so I right click on the part again and click on grounded. So the grounded restricts its movement, so it cannot move around. Okay, so having done that, we go over to the next part to be inserted, place again, and then we bring in the buffer nut. Open. So I place this the same way I did previously, clicking once, then I right click and select cancel. Then I go over to bring in the other parts. So we are looking for the exhaust gas seal buffer. I know that previously when I was creating the parts, I labeled the components as 1, 2, 3, etc. So it might be a little bit difficult for people to know which parts are which. But if you're having difficulties with that, you can place it in the comment section, so I check if it's necessary to produce, or let me say to rename all the parts, so we understand what is going on. Alright, so we go over to bring in the last part to be used, which is our flange seal. Okay, open, and I place as before, left click, then I right click and say escape. Okay, so remember that this part is grounded, and as you see on the icon, there is a pin close to my cursor, so this signifies that this is grounded, and we can also find it there, but these ones can still move around. So these are the parts that will be constrained with the exhaust pipe. Okay, so we go back to constraint, and then we begin by constraining this buffer with the pipe. I move my cursor to the circumference, let's say the surface of the pipe, and you notice an axis selected, so I click and I come over here and select also the face, the cylindrical face of this part. I click and you hear a pop sound, so that simply means that they have been constrained to each other, and then I apply. And then so I click to repeat the same process till the arrow shows, and then I do the same here, the pop sound, and you notice that the cylindrical constraints have been applied with those parts. Okay, click on apply, and lastly this flange seal should be on this face, so I'll select also this cylindrical surface, And I'm going to select the cylindrical surface of this. It's really small, so you need to be careful to be sure that the arrow is showing before you select. Okay, so you notice that this has been constrained now. However, this is not what we want, so we have to engage another constraint. So I select there and this face. Okay, this is good. Yep. Oh, apply and cancel. But then you notice that this can still move around, and that's simply because we only constrained the axis and not the faces. Also with this is able to move up and down because only the axes are constrained. So we only have the cylindrical constraints or concentric constraints. So we need to apply more constraints to this. So I'll select on constraint, and then I want this face, yes, this face to be mated with this face. All right, so now you see they are flushed to each other, and then contact with each other, apply, and then we do the same here. I need this face to be constrained to be mated with this face. Okay, so that means that wherever this part goes, this follows. Wherever this part goes, this follows. So apply, and then so we see this. Okay, so lastly we need this to be within the exhaust pipe itself, and so the last constraint to be placed will be this face, the bottom face of the pipe, to be constrained to the bottom face of the buffer seal. All right, so having selected this, you notice that there is no pop sound, and okay, but that's simply because of the pre-selected constraint style, which is mate. So we make it to be flush. All right, so you notice there is a flush. Okay guys, now that we have all of this, we can see that the first subassembly has been completed. However, we haven't constrained this to stop rotating, but that will be done in later times. Okay, so guys, this is pretty simple, and yep, so this is good enough. And what we do is just to save this part now. Sorry, the assembly part. All right, I already created the assembly file, which you can also, and I think you should, rather than just saving in an haphazard manner. So navigate to a directory you want to save, and you can create a file, and we'll call this the exhaust pipe subassembly. Okay guys, so we save this and then we are done. Alright guys, so I would see you guys in the next tutorial. And also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do, because yes, it helps me a lot. And also keep watching this space.